Seattle, Josh McCown. He couldn't get it done, though, turning it over on downs with the sack with Philly down 1 score. Russell Wilson would get it done, finding DK Metcalf, 3rd and 10, 36 yards, and that would seal the game. Seahawks win 17-9. They advance. The Eagles' injury-riddled season is over. Here's Eagles head coach Doug Peterson on the state of his quarterback.
I'm disappointed, for him, because I wanted this for him, obviously, and I think a lot of his teammates did too, and the organization did. I mean, he's battled through a lot, but we'll learn from it. We'll move on.
From your perspective, is this a different game if Carson's healthy?
I don't know. It's hard to say. I would say yes. If he's healthy, with the game plan that we had, I think so. But it's hard to speculate.
Nick, do the Eagles win this game if Wentz doesn't get hurt?
I don't think so. I don't think McCown killed him in the game, and I think Seattle was playing the just enough game, which is we'll do just enough to beat you, pardon me, to beat you. And I think, let's say Carson Wentz was in there and Philly was able to turn some of those red zone drives into 7 instead of 3, I think Seattle would have responded because Philly had no ability to cover Seattle's wide receivers. They had no ability to stop Russell Wilson. They only stopped Seattle's offense when they foolishly ran the ball right into the back of the line of scrimmage, as they so often like to do. But I can't prove that. I can't prove that they wouldn't have won if Wentz didn't get hurt, and it's brutal for him, and I feel sick for him. But here's what I do know unequivocally. 2 things. One is, getting a concussion is not part of being injury prone. The idea that, well, look, Carson Wentz, he broke his leg, he broke his back, he had these injuries coming out of college, he had the wrist, and now the 1 year he stays healthy, he gets knocked out of a playoff game. That, to me, is a totally unfair criticism. No one is immune to that. That is a very unlucky, very unfortunate, and an illegal hit by Clowney. The other thing I feel like I know is that was not an intentionally dirty play. I don't think Clowney is a dirty player. I think Clowney is a brutal player, and I say that in a kind way. Like, he will attack the opposing team's quarterback like a pass rusher is supposed to. And listen, the NFL is trying to take the head out of football to prevent plays like this. It should have been flagged. It was a missed whistle or a missed flag by the officials. But I don't think Clowney, in the split second Wentz is going down, is targeting his head. Now, that doesn't mean it shouldn't have been flagged. I think he's trying to get him on the ground, and he hits him in the head. So I don't think it's a dirty play, and I don't think this is indicative of Carson Wentz being some injury-prone player. Those are separate issues. I also think the Seattle Seahawks were going to find a way to win this game regardless. Russell Wilson 5-0 now in his career against Philadelphia, and it felt to me like they were in control of this football game, Amani.
I absolutely agree. They were in control. I definitely think the Philadelphia Eagles, they just weren't good. They weren't better than the Seahawks. They beat a lot of bad teams. They went through the NFC East with 5 wins. They beat the Giants twice. They beat the Washington twice. And they split with Dallas. I mean, that is 5 wins. They won 9, so they only won 4 games outside of the NFC East. Now, Clowney, that's when you pull the ball down and you're a running back. And they hit running backs like that all the time. I don't think that should have been flagged. I think that when you run the ball and you want to be a running back, that's what you get. That's why quarterbacks, they take knees, they slide, they do all this stuff. He's going head first. If he would have slid, that's definitely a penalty. But the fact that he was going head first, trying to get extra yards, I wouldn't say it's his fault, but I'm saying that's just kind of how the game works.
Well, you can't say football's a game of inches and then say, in my opinion, say Clowney should have let up.
No,
because Clowney's trying to prevent him from getting a few extra inches. And so we can disagree whether it's a penalty or not. I felt awkward, Greg, about the commentary somehow attacking both these players.
Yeah.
Like, some people, knuckleheads, I feel, attacking Carson Wentz for getting a concussion, which is asinine. And then also some people who I don't think it's as an egregious of an opinion, but the idea that Clowney was targeting him, trying to hurt him, that's not what I felt like. It's a playoff game. He's trying to get the quarterback on the ground, and it's unfortunate the way it went.
Yeah, both are unfortunate. When I look at the Eagles, as far as winning the game with or without Carson Wentz, I think they win with Carson Wentz because this is how they've won all year. I get it. Seattle has won close games. That's who they are. That's who they've literally told themselves, this is how we play. We play tight games. We keep them close. And then Russell Wilson do something special at the end of the game. But Carson Wentz And the Philadelphia Eagles do the same exact thing. If he's on the field, given the situations and the circumstances, you mentioned it earlier, the Philadelphia Eagles not being able to finish drives, meaning put the ball in the end zone and get 6 points versus 3 points, that hurt them.
That was the difference.
And when you go into playoff games, when you go into any game, but specifically playoff games,
absolutely.
you have a laser-focused game plan surrounding the guys that you have going on that field, putting on that uniform and playing. And with them not having Carson Wentz, it changes everything that you try to do. Now, McCown came in, and did he play good? Yes, but he's not Wentz. Doug Peterson isn't on the sideline looking at his call sheet saying, okay, let's just keep it rolling with anything. No, he's now trying to scramble and do things that will accommodate what he has in at quarterback.
All right, quickly to the other side in the Seahawks. I know it was another frustrating offensive game plan for you. How dangerous is this Seahawks team, given what you saw yesterday and the way they've been playing moving forward?
They could be super dangerous, but it's amazing. Pete Carroll, the biggest mistake of his football life was throwing instead of running on the goal line when they should have won their second straight Super Bowl. And it seems like he thinks his penance for that is to just run the football when he should throw the football for 5 years since then. Second down is just a down that I'll just use second down as an example. In this football game, they ran the ball on second down 7 times with running backs. They got 2 yards. They dropped Russell Wilson back 12 times. They got 131 yards. The running back who got the most carries for them had 11 carries for 12 yards, including a 12-yard carry. That means he had 10 carries for 0 yards. They tried to follow the same script that cost them the Dallas game last year in the playoffs, which was run, run, run. They call these games like Blake Bortles is their quarterback. Like, we will only drop our quarterback back if we have to, and when you have to, it's like, oh, it's Russell Wilson. That's a perfect bomb to DK Metcalf to win the football game. So, Amani, I think they are as dangerous as the coaching staff allows Russell Wilson to be. I think he is, and not I think, I know, he's one of the 5 best players in the whole league, and they only use him when they have to. If they're going to compete with Green Bay, they got to make that a Russell Wilson game, not a Marshawn Lynch, what's the other running back's name? I forget, the guy they just signed off the street. My apologies. But not a Marshawn Lynch or Homer game. Travis Homer, who had the 11 carries for 12 yards. They got to put it on Russell's right arm.
I do think Russell does need to get more touches, but I'm a fan of the running game. I like the fact that they run the ball, because running the ball isn't just about what you can see statistically. It controls the clock. You know, you allow your offensive linemen to get some momentum as they move forward, instead of taking the power of the defensive linemen as they come in on a pass rush. So I believe that it's a momentum thing. It's a physical thing. I played with Sean Payton, who was our head coach, and we used to run the ball a lot as well. And Sean Payton, you always say, running the ball is like hitting a rock. You never know if it's the first hit is going to break open the game or the last. So running the ball is important, and it's important for this offense. I don't know if they have the receivers or if their offensive line is really good.